So hello everyone, Mondo here. Welcome to my review of Sword Oratoria episode 3. A really good episode. Was it better last week? Maybe. It was a little less fun, and the jokes weren't as good, but I think that it had better action. So overall, maybe it was a little better. First of all, let's talk about the action then. I think we can go from that. There's a short part of it. Again, this anime really has good action, right? It has really good action. It's bloody action, it's raw action. First we had the action part where Lefiya and Ice is doing some kind of grinding thing, whatever. Since they have to get some experience points to get level 6, right? And with some generals, you get stabbed weird in the face, and it looks okay. But then after that, the course have the whole thing with Tiona, the twins, and Lefiya. Lefiya gets stabbed, and it's like blood, it's like bleeding through her body, like it's disappear, and it's like on her face, and you know, this it's very uncensored, right? In that sense. That's great. And that looks pretty good and so on. And then of course we also have the whole ice part, right? That was really good. She's flying around on the rooftops, landing, using her windman to like boost her speed, right? And like make her sharper, she lands around, slashes werewolves, slashes some bugs, slashes some other monsters, you know, everywhere, right? And a lot of really cool scenes that she's flying around, like cutting them in one attack each. And then of course she's fighting the whole list. I think it was one monster. The kind of the plant snake monster. Felt to me like it had 4 heads, right, and they had to fight them. It was a good fight as well. A little weird, so that Lefiya is a 1000 elf. She has like this super secret elf magic. I was like, what? I was like, so, from nowhere, Lefiya apparently is super talented because she has like multicast frost magic. No one else can do it. It's like, okay, that's good. But anyway, that was a great fight. The whole team was great. I love the tweets as well. Every part of them is good. I love that they're all so simple as well. It's like, oh, you stop using the wind magic, it makes it stronger or something. I was like, okay. I was like, what do you do? I don't know, just punch it. You have the weapons, but you can just punch it or something. And they're like, yeah, okay. I was like, they always like, send people in, just go here. You know, like, and I love this in the first episode where she was like, oh, no, I just claw this thing. Yeah, you know, it's like super simple with the strategies. It's like, don't get hit by it and let's punch it. It's like, yeah, great plan there. What should we do? I don't know. It's like, yeah, we beat it eventually. It's like, yeah, okay. So overall, that was really good. That part definitely was good. And so that was kind of the action part, I would say. Action part of it, right? And of course, Lefiya in the end of the contest. Otherwise, the episode, and this is, I feel, I don't think the anime is bad. I think the anime actually is really good, but I do feel it's a little weird that it's kind of like Lefiya is kind of like the main character. So I'm thinking I'm gonna do like a more in-depth review right at the first episode, or maybe 4th episode. So maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, and so on. And it's like, this is a pretty good anime. They had a lot of jokes for that. I love that there was a Belkun and Heste in the background. Like, where's the Shibi? You see them fighting down there. It's like from Dionysus angle instead of his angle, so on. Right? This is all fun and good and so, but it's kind of like, it's not supposed to be about ice. This episode was all about Lefiya. So, but maybe though. It's going to be more about ice, so probably I'll see one episode before I go into kind of more in-depth review video about this episode, with this whole anime, because I feel like no, Lefiya had her, the episode was all about Lefiya, and she had her, like an important growth, this episode, right? And then it feels like it's going to be more about ice in the future now, from this, because we know that ice is going to train with Bell and so on. I think that's going to be more important now, coming into it. I think so, I'm not sure, but I hope so, because it's kind of weird that it's like, oh, it's all Lefiya again. Not that it's bad by itself, but it feels kind of weird, because it feels like it's focused. You picture the anime being about the sword of the city, right? Oratoria, this is the city, right? And they're like, yeah, it's about the blade, the greatest swordswoman they have. It's like, okay, but it's more about the elf girl that loves her, and it's all about, oh, I can go date with her, oh, I can seduce her. It's about that elf girl, and then she's like, I have to fight, I'll be strong as her. It's like, okay, it's more about her love for the strongest swordswoman, as we also had in the normal Danmachi with Bell. So it's like, okay, this is more like Danmachi elf perspective, elf magician girl perspective instead. You know, it's more like that, somewhat, which is a little weird. But overall, a good episode, right? If you ignore that, I think it was a good episode. We see Lefiya growing. We see her with the Lefiya vision. She's like, oh, ice, we're gonna do this thing together, and we're gonna. And I also like it, and that's so weird, because she has this kind of like, it's this really romantic view of Ice. It's like, oh, Ice-san is gonna touch me, and when we are in the garden together. It's be so romantic. It's like, have you met Ice? That's kind of the weirdest thing. with the right, because Belle at least has more of like a, I would say more like a realistic view of Isis. He's like, yeah, she's a badass swords lady that very talks, and she's like, yeah, she's like a stoic character. I like that. He's more kind of the, I would say he loves, I would say at least more what Ice is, right? Where Ice kind of what he sees at least. Where Lefiya is more like, oh, I love, you know, she has a weird, you know, view of Ice in sense. It's kind of weird, right? Obviously she's in love with her, she has to see what she wants, but it's kind of like how she always seems like, oh, this could happen, and me, us, we're gonna do this together. Yeah, we're gonna pork, you know. They're like, Ice is more like, hey, here potion, heal. That is more like Ice. He's not very talkative, and it's like, That's the feeling that we with Lefiya. That she's more in love with the image that she has of Ice, of course. She has like a very romantic, very, you know, illusionary image of Ice, right? More than what actually is reality, right? I think that's a clear thing with her, that it's very much like, she's not in love with Ice, she's in love with her fantasy of Ice, right? I think, because half her fantasies are very, very non-Ice specific, so that's kind of weird, but that's but anyway, still a good Lefiya episode. I mean, she had the whole growth thing. She had, I'm injured, but I can't let Ice always save me. I have to fight. I have to use my magic. So, you know, yeah, she had that finally. I can push it. Which she tried for her episode 1, and she failed, right? So this is more, yeah, she's a strong character now. She's more courage, less fear, control power, and so on. So good for her. I also love the scene, of course, when she got the Ice potion. I just took one chunk, right? I was like, hey, drink the rest, you're injured. So it was like, indirect kiss! Potion! I was like, yeah, okay. Is this my dream come true? I was like, this is like the best date ever. I was like, yeah, okay. Not rather really, but okay, yeah, good. And also, of course, when Luke with Ice is, because obviously she wants Ice to, because she doesn't trust Freya, right? But it's more like, that tries to make the indirect kiss thing that Lefiya is about. It's like, eat it, kiss me, okay, I kiss you then. So it's like, and it's like, yes, just eat it, please, God. It's like, yes, I just kissed your eyes. It's like, I hate her. It's like, God, I hate my goddess. And also, of course, here in the background, here in Heista trying to feed Belle. She's like, I want to eat my food, please, my boy. And he's like, no. You're a goddess, I can't eat your food. He's like, just eat it, goddammit. He's like, no, I don't want to, because obviously she wants him to have an indirect kiss with her, and he doesn't get it. But she's just like, come on, please, Belle. He's like, nope. Classic Balcon. Dean Witt, the main character, right? Classic. But that's all good in that, so pretty good part as well. And then lastly, of course, we have the whole Luke and Freya. I mentioned that my live action well. Luke is seemed in the old anime to know amounts of happening, but here he clearly knows what is happening here. I mean, this perspective clearly points out that she is well aware of Freya's intention, and she's well aware that Freya is going to monsters. Probably why she had Ice ready. It's like, okay, Ice, go and kill these monsters. So she was able to like clean up Freya's mess. So they're definitely cooperative in the whole thing there. So yeah, we have no idea why Loki helps Freya, but she definitely is doing it right. And it makes somewhat sense that they would be friends or slash like kind of rivals or whatever, but at least have more relationship because they're both from the North mythology, right? Obviously they're both Loki has changed gender several times actually. Yeah, so Loki is Loki and Freya is usually a woman. It's all a woman though. But yeah, so like they would have some kind of relationship with that, of course, maybe. It feels like they have some kind of, little more of that in this world, even if they are living in one city, but still. That could be something, and there are sisters something. I don't know exactly how they actually work out. They never explain that in anime, but it could be. I mean, I would assume at least that the North mythology gods have more in common, right? Or they are from the same family, or they're from the same order. I don't know, northern mountains and what into this town, all gods, whatever, right? So they probably know each other for a longer time, right? So obviously she's aware that Freya's a perverted rapist or something. Like, oh, he's want to rape the kid? I get it. She's like, look at that. Oh yeah, I get it. It's like, but you're a pervert, Freya, son. And then just like, Ice, please kiss me. It's like, yeah, okay. It's like, yeah, you're both perverts. Yeah, I guess that you get to Loki because you're the same kind of character. You're the same kind of issues, right? What's interesting, of course, the last part is the diagnosis. Which I guess it's him because they say they're kind of the same name there. They also know Dimitri with the same family, but Diagnosis would be the male if it's following the normal mythology, and he's one god, right? And we see him being like, ooh, this plant. So he seems to be behind. Probably work with the range, right? They're probably behind the whole. Because also he's behind the planting, Freya. And then I predicted Freya said he didn't create the planting. She only released beasts, right? Not like a plant snake thing. So she's gonna be like, oh yes. Because you see he having the yellow XP thing, yellow crystal, that we saw in the first episode. For those maggots, so he and the raid is probably the same thing, right? Doing some kind of weird new monster, new specimen. For some reason, plus they're evil or whatever, but yeah. That's an important part. We see both that Loki knows what Freya is doing. The Osis is evil, I suppose, as well. Pretty much all the guns seems to be evil. Most guns we have characterization are evil. Hephaestus, he's also be evil, also a trickster. Loki is... you would expect Loki to be good, but she also seems kind of good on Heista and Belle's perspective, but now you see that she's aware for Freya, even helping Freya to doing it. So I guess Loki is also evil then, or at least some kind of chaotic new trolleys when I ruin stuff or whatever, yeah, so that's what's important in this episode. But overall a good episode, not as fun as last week, but more action-packed, and of course we're still Lefiya growing and so on. But I'll say it again, then I expect it to be more about ice next week, so I'm gonna hold back my, like, should you watch it kind of review to next week? I wanna see, like, is it ever gonna be about ice? Now at least Lefiya had a growth, so yeah, see you guys next week and have a great day.